Minx hops over from HBO Max to Starz in the second season. The 70s drama shows Joyce, a rising feminist, getting thrown off course when a cheeky magazine called Minx brings out an issue showing off her feminist vibes in a sexy wrapping. The next season, with the subheading The Perils of Being a Wealthy Widow, has Joyce wooed by big publishers like Hearst and Condé Nast, while Doug, her sneaky ex-publisher, is stung by the money trouble of his bottom-dollar imprint. What happened in Minx Season 2 Episode 1? The episode kicks off with Doug trying to kickstart his business after a shutdown stirred up by a bunch of male chauvinists' tantrums. He's out there asking banks for loans and fellow business peeps for cash, but gets nothing, thanks to the bad name his company's got. Even though he's got magazines to sell, Doug doesn't have a trusty way to get them out there. On the flip side, Joyce is wrestling with indecision, unsure about inking a deal with any of the many publishers who are trying to team up with her. This hold-up in picking a new home for Minx ticks off Richie and Bambi, who are now out of a job. Bambi tries to sweet-talk Joyce into making a choice by asking for help from Shelley, and this ends up with them sleeping together. In the meantime, Richie's taking up freelance photography gigs and gets a job at the house of a client named Constance Papadopoulos. Tagging along with Joyce, Richie recognizes Constance as one of the nation's trailblazing female bosses who unfortunately lost her business empire. Despite her business flop, Constance is still crazy rich and gets Richie to snap some pics of her and her new boy toy. Joyce is over the moon when Constance lets slip that she's a big fan of Minx. After grabbing complete control of Minx from Doug, Joyce is unsure about getting into a deal with another man or company that just doesn't get what her brainchild is about. She's scared they'll mess with her magazine by adding stuff that doesn't match the rest of it. That's why she's not in a hurry to sign with a publisher, even though they're making her some tempting offers. Joyce doesn't want money, what she's after is full control over Minx and lots of respect when it gets published. But she knows Richie and Bambi need to work, and this forces her to finally say yes to Condé Nast, one of the country's top publishers. But before the deal's done and dusted, Doug pops up out of the blue with a too-good-to-say-no proposition. He has the idea of pitching Minx to Constance, now that he knows about her heaps of money. Doug's hidden plan is to use Constance's money to bring bottom dollar back to life, but Joyce can't ignore how this proposal could be good for Minx. Joyce feels Constance is more on her wavelength than any of the other major publishers, seeing that they see eye to eye on a lot of things. This same wavelength clears the path for Joyce to put out Minx just as she pictured it. So, Joyce picks bottom dollar, now backed by Constance's cash, to be the new publisher for Minx. This choice gets Joyce and Doug back together. While Constance sees Doug as a spare part of Minx, Joyce is thankful for the part he played in its birth. Even though they have different ways of thinking, Joyce gives Doug a pat on the back for helping her bring Minx to life. While Doug is up to his eyeballs planning how to get his company back on its feet, his loyal sidekick Tina is thinking about moving to Chicago to study business. Tina thinks Doug has no clue about her plans, so she's stunned when he brings up her possible exit. In a perfect world, Tina would love to chase her dreams in Chicago, but her feelings for Doug and the company make it a hard choice. Seeing Joyce go after her dreams might give Tina the push she needs to put her own dreams first. She might decide to stick around until Doug is back on top, or she might take over the business side of Minx while Joyce takes care of the editing work. Joyce would be more than happy to have such a go-getter woman on her team. This would also give Doug the breathing space he needs to get bottom dollar back to its heyday.